let's see this Thunderbolt get wet, shall we? In order for the Thunderbolt to get into this depth 1 water hex, it must first of all walk. No mech can enter a depth 1 or deeper water hex unless it is walking. That means it can't run into it. Alright, now let's look at the MP cost. 1 MP for the new hex, 1 MP for the level change to get down to depth 1, and 1 MP for the depth 1 water being there. 3. 1, 2, 3. The Thunderbolt will also have to make a piloting skill roll to avoid falling down, because every time a mech walks into a depth 1 or deeper water hex, it must make a piloting skill roll. Now, just because I said that no mech can enter a water hex unless it is walking, that does not mean that a mech cannot run when exiting a water hex onto dry land. So this Thunderbolt could run to enter this clear terrain of hex using running speed, whatever that might be for this Thunderbolt. Now let's illustrate how the Thunderbolt can walk across the river, like this, from dry land. So, 1, 2, 3, make a piloting skill roll. And then 1 for the new hex, 1 for the depth 1 water being there, and that's it. We're already at depth 1, we're not making a level change into another depth 1. So that'd be 2. 4, 5. And the Thunderbolt can only do that if it had a walking speed of at least 5. Because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's how that works. Let's look at depth 2 water. Now, getting into this depth 2 water hex from a clear hex on dry land is expensive. It will cost 1 for the new hex, 2 for the level change of 2 to get down to depth 2, and 3 for the depth 2 water being there. Hopefully the Thunderbolt can do that from walking. Now, if the Thunderbolt wants to walk along a river, that's just 1 for the next hex, and 3 for the depth 2 water being there. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, that can only happen if the Thunderbolt had a walking speed of at least 8. And pilot skill rolls would be needed for each water hex the Thunderbolt entered. The piloting skill roll is made the moment the Thunderbolt enters the new water hex. Let's see what happens with mixed depth levels. Depth 1, depth 2. That's 1 MP for the new hex, 1 MP for the level change, 1 MP for the depth 1 water being there. 3. Now this would be 1 MP for the new hex, 1 MP for the level change, because we're going from a depth 1 to a depth 2, and then 3 for all the water being there. 5. So after the Thunderbolt makes its piloting skill roll for entering this hex in the first place, it would be 5. And the Thunderbolt would have to make another piloting skill roll. Also note that if the Thunderbolt is completely surrounded by water, it is still possible for this Thunderbolt to run, provided it does not enter another water hex. It can do this by changing hex side and just effectively spinning around in a circle. Right round, baby. Like a record, baby, right round. Round, round. The Thunderbolt may also have to expend running MP just to stand up in the event that it fell down. Yeah, So much for water.